Welcome you to the Spring Town Election Candidate Interview Forum. My name is Jana Providakis. I've been a town resident for over 26 years. Normally we'd host a candidate forum where there'd be a debate between the candidates. This year, with the pandemic, and there only being one contested seat on the ballot, that being of town moderator, we've opted for a Zoom interview forum. This forum is going to be broadcasted on Channel 8 and on the Public Access Corporation's website of airpublicaccess.org. There are going to be two separate interviews, and I'm going to be introducing each candidate, give them time to tell us who they are, give us a little background of the information about themselves. Then I'm going to ask each of the two candidates, again in two different interviews, the same 5 questions derived from prior candidate forums. The candidate will then have several minutes to answer each of these questions. After they've answered the questions, we'll then give them a few minutes so that they can give a closing remark. As a reminder, this interview forum is for the spring town election happening here in Ayer, Town Hall, 1 Main Street on May 11th, 2021. The polls open at 7 a.m. and close at 8 p.m. Now, I'm pleased to introduce to you Sam Goodwin. Sam, thank you for participating in this.
Thank you very much. I look forward to this.
All right. Well, I tell you what, I'm going to let you take it from here. Introduce yourself and give us a little bit of your background.
Yeah, my name is Sam Goodwin. I've been a resident of Ayer for about 8 years. During the entire 8 years, I've been pretty much involved with the town in many different aspects. Currently, I'm the chairman of the ZBA. I'm on the personnel board. I think that's fairly defunct, but anyway, it's still inorganizational. I have been a town constable for 6 years, and FYI, there's no conflict between a constable and a town moderator. Constable will post the town warrant, and the town moderator will read it. So just so you see my name twice on the ballot, once for constable, once for town moderator. There's no connection between the two other than coincidental. I retired from the Navy in 2005 after 27 years as a chief. I am currently a volunteer on the USS Case and Young down in Charlestown, part of the maintenance crew. We take care of her. She's across the pier from the Constitution. I am currently still a full-time system engineer for utilities. Be it when something goes wrong, I get a call and we go look at it. I am also the past commander of the American Legion and a member of the Ayer Gun Club.
Excellent.
I was appointed moderator 2 years ago, no, a year ago, when Tommy got sick. So I've done 2 town meetings since then. I've moderated both the night he got sick and then the subsequent meeting. So that's my, in a nutshell, for the past 8 years.
All right. Yeah, I think we remember seeing you up there. All right. One of the first questions is, what would you bring to the position of town moderator?
The town moderator's position is really just to facilitate the meeting. What I would bring in would be a couple different traits. I would say I'd be more like stability of the meeting and consistency. You need to be fair and consistent all the way through the meeting. Each person has their opportunity to speak or to give their opinions. That's part of the town meeting process. You have to be non-adversarial. If you don't like someone, it doesn't show there. You treat each person exactly the same way as you treated this predecessor or successor. And you must maintain that throughout the entire process, throughout the entire meeting, start to finish.
Right, that is true. With that, then, do you feel that you can be a strong and objective leader of the town meeting? And
Yes,
why?
yes, I do. I've done quite a few large meetings, small meetings, and you learn over the years what works, what doesn't work. And to be strong is sort of a misnomer. Being strong doesn't mean you take over the meeting. It means you focus it. You give it guidance. So being strong is leading in that respect, but leading is not putting someone else in mind. I mean, you don't lead someone into the question. If someone asks you a question, you don't lead the answer. You lead the meeting, meaning you bring it all together rather than lead someone to say something they don't want to. So it's kind of a careful way to say, your question was objective leader. Well, you are a leader in the respect that you're just facilitating the meeting, but you don't lead someone to it. So there's a little bit of a difference there.
Okay. Well, again, it's more of, like I say, making sure that the meeting stays on track. That's what it seems like you're saying, that you keep.
That's right. That's the moderator's job. I mean, if you look at it, the warrant doesn't belong to the moderator. The warrant belongs to the Board of Selectmen. And it's published by the town clerk. It's hung by the constable. Everybody has a piece of this. And the only thing the moderator does is control the meeting. And when I say control the meeting, you keep the meeting on track and focused. That's your job. It's whatever the public wants to do or how they feel to go, that's up to them, as long as it stays germane to the questions on the table as we get into it. Mm-hmm. So you have to keep it on track and moving. You can't let it fester. I mean, I've sit in a couple of meetings. I've been to every town meeting since I've been here. And I've seen meetings that it'll start with a simple question and it just segues right into different things. And you end up with a 25-minute conversation and nobody really knows what started it, but you have to, it wandered off track and you can't let that happen. You have to keep things directed in the right direction, germane to the question, and keep it moving. Give people their chance to speak. That's their opportunity. That's their choice. But you're not going to wander off somewhere talking about rocks on the road. If you're talking about a bridge repair, that just doesn't make sense. Mm-hmm. So that's what I think.
Yeah, no, and also too using the Robert's Rules of Order and everything to go ahead and keep.
No, we don't use that.
No?
No, 2 years ago or 3 years ago, Tommy, we had used Robert's Rules of Order for the past 30 years, I expect, long before I got here. He changed the rules of our guidance for the town meeting from Robert's Rules of Orders to the town meeting guide. It was published by 3 town moderators in Massachusetts, and it's a boiled down version, I should say, of Robert's Rules. All the functions are still there without the parliamentary processes. Mm-hmm. We don't use a parliamentary process. I mean, this is an open meeting, and we needed the guidance. So the only thing we had at the time was Robert's Rules that gave us guidance. But to be quite candid, I expect there's probably about 75 or 80% of Robert's Rules we have no use for. So when the town meeting guide came out, published by the 3 moderators in Massachusetts, perfect. So that's why Tommy switched us over, and mm-hmm. I don't plan on changing it.
Mm-hmm. And that's available on the town's website, correct?
That I don't know. I don't know if it's available on town website or not.
Yeah, I believe it is. It's like, oh, all right, I'm sorry. Then we'll go
That's
back
all
to we'll go back to the questions of, you said that you had experience in moderating large scale discussions. Can you embellish on that, please?
Sure. Not even to mention the last two meetings I moderated. In my current profession, I take meetings anywhere from half a dozen people to 60, 70 people, which is a fair amount. It's not earth shaking, but while I was in the Navy, when I was on active duty, I would have anywhere between meetings for anywhere from 30 people up to 400. And you want an interesting meeting to moderate? Take 400 sailors. That is an interesting meeting to moderate. You got to keep those people on point. So I've had a fair amount of experience doing that and successful for the most part. Where there are always glitches in times. And prime example was the first town meeting I did when Tommy got sick, and I had been appointed the deputy to take care of the overflow room. And then all of a sudden, Tommy's going out on the stretcher, and I'm going, oh, man. And I turn around and look, and everybody's looking at me. I'm going, here we go. So I was really off center for that first town meeting. I just, okay. And somebody said, hey, you need to settle down a little bit. Yes, I get that. But you get thrown into the deep end of the pool pretty quick, and you got to sink or swim. So, but the second town meeting came off much, much better. I've had quite a few comments that they appreciated the way I ran the meeting, and it turned out very, very well. Everybody felt satisfied when they came out of the meeting.
All right. Oh, that's good. Well, with that, seeing that you've got this, background, how do you feel that town meeting can be improved from the moderator's perspective?
I've thought about that, and the town moderator has no control over that whatsoever. I remember at the forum we had, Pauline and Heather put on the forum. Tommy and I sat and discussed these different subjects at the forum 3 years ago when I ran against him. And a similar question came up. The town moderator, that's all he does is moderate the meeting. He can't control how many people are there, how many come, how many go. I really doesn't even have a say in where it's held. That's posted by the town. So the town moderator can't do any changes. You might do minute changes to the forum of the meeting, but not much. We're very, very limited by law what we can or can't do during a town meeting. And it's like your next question was, how do you see the role changing? It's not going to change. It can't. There's two kind of town meetings. There's a representative and there's an open. We have an open town meeting. The moderator for the open town meeting, all he does is facilitate the meeting, period. I think there are some collateral duties. You swear people in for, I think, was it the FinCom? There's a couple different committees that the town moderator will swear people in for. Doesn't select them, doesn't approve them, just swears them in. Mm-hmm. The committee themselves will send the person to the town, so it can either be the town moderator or the town clerk that can swear them in. That and the moderator opens and closes the election, and the moderator or town clerk announces the results. So those are a couple collateral duties, but for all intent and purposes, as far as the town meeting goes, the moderator, all he does is run the meeting. Nothing else. He has nothing. He can't change a thing because we're really governed by state law. Other towns have representative town meetings, completely different story. So in order for us to change the role of the moderator, you change the role of the meeting. You change the role of the meeting, you're changing the form. So we're not looking at that at all, and we're not going to change the form of the town management. So let's take what we got and just try to focus on making it a little better or a little easier. Again, if someone decides, if the town decides, and they have to do it at town meeting, they want to change the form, it's got to go to the state, and the state's got to approve it, and then the whole process starts again in a different way. I don't see us doing that at all. We're a small town.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And the meeting is not broken, so there's nothing to fix. The worst thing about the town meeting is sometimes people get off track, and that's the biggest complaint. Too long on one subject, but everybody has their say, and they look at it and say, well, what about this? What about that? And some of the meetings, people bring up things that others haven't thought of, and they go, oh, okay. Yeah, so the discussion is germane, lively, and it's good because it points out somebody can't think of everything.
True. Yeah, no, that is true. All right. So really, that last question, like you're saying, I've got the question of how do you see it changing? I think you've answered, saying that you want to keep it so that the town moderator keeps the meeting, focused, and you can't really change it unless the town itself wants to go through that process.
That's correct.
All right. No, that sounds good. All right. Well, what I'm going to do now is, like, those were pretty much the basic 5 questions. I'm going to let you go ahead and give a closing statement.
The only closing statement I have, like I said, I try to do a decent job. There's a lot to be done in town, and there's not a lot of people who want to take on responsibility. If you look at the ballot, you have all these seats that are open. Nobody wants to do anything. I firmly believe in community service, always have and always will. And I think this is one of the ways that I can take and give some time back to the town. I think it's a good way for me to do this, for me to support the town. I mean, ZBA is one thing, personnel board's another thing. I mean, all these little pieces, you try to help the town, you try to make the town grow. But I think this town moderator job will be quite effective. It's makes the town a better place to go. Maybe more people will be interested in going to the meetings if they're more organized, they're more focused, rather than people sitting in the auditorium for 3 hours and coming out wondering what the hell they did. So I think I would do a very good job, history as history dictates, over the last few meetings. And I look forward to the election and hope people vote for me.
All right. I think that sounds pretty good. I'm going to say, thank you, Sam, for participating in this. And I want to say thank you. We hope that the audience has had an opportunity to hear the candidate, Sam Goodwin, and use this information gathered during this interview to help you make a decision at the Springtown election. And I'm going to sound like a broken record, but I do have to let everybody know that the Springtown election is going to be on May 11th at the Ayer Town Hall. Polls open up at 7 a.m. and closes at 8 p.m. Last day to request an absentee ballot. All right, I want to make sure people know that you can get the absentee ballot on the website, and the last chance you can do it is May 5th by 5 p.m. That means the town clerk needs to have a signed application in that office by 5 p.m. on Wednesday, May 5th, 2021. For individuals, go out to the website Sam was talking about, We do have the ballot, and with that, you can go ahead and see what like I said, the sample ballot looks like before you walk in or before you go ahead and do your absentee ballot. And with that, I just want to say again, Sam, thank you very much. And hopefully I get to see everybody around town.
Thank you very much. Appreciate
You're
it.
welcome.